One thing I didn't go into very much detail about, but I did show you, was the find and replace tool. When it comes to fixing formatting mistakes, that is such a great tool to have, because inevitably there are going to be mistakes that happen multiple times. And until you really learn how to use the styles, before you really understand consistently that you don't want to put in those double spaces at the end of a sentence, you know what I'm talking about? That kind of stuff. Before you figure out that the tab key is a problem, etc. Or maybe there's something that you just realized that you don't like the way it's formatted and you want to make it different. The find and replace tool, when it comes to maybe you use a word too much and you want to replace it with a different word, or you've changed the name of your character, because haven't we all done that at least once in the writing of a manuscript? Let's say I didn't want to have this as the name of my character, but I didn't want to go through and find it every single time in the manuscript. Oh my goodness, that could take forever. 50,000 words, 80,000 words, whatever it happens to be, 130,000 words. You don't want to look for Anna throughout the whole thing. So what are you going to do? You are going to use your find and replace tool, which is Control F. You can see in this manuscript, it only comes up 8 times, but this is only 1,000 words. So imagine that being in there 800 times, right? It could totally happen. We go over here, so we've done Control F, navigation came out. We're going to come to this little arrow and X that out. The little arrow next to the magnifying glass. We go to replace, and I want to replace the name Ona with Figaro. I want it to be Matra Figaro. And I don't want to just find the next one or just replace one of them. I want to replace them all at once. Stop right there. There are words in the English language that have the letters O-N-A in them. Okay? Now, that being the case, if you take any of that combination of letters and replace it with Figaro, there might be other words in your manuscript that get replaced. Not just the name Ona. So it has to be specified that that is what you want to do. So underneath this more button down here, you want it to match it exactly. So we don't want to find all word forms or sounds like or use wildcards. Find whole words only. Match case. Do we need to match a prefix or a suffix? Not necessarily. And in some cases, depending on what you're wanting to change, you might just want to go through and find one at a time and replace. Like just replacing that one and that one. If you trust that you have set it up so that you cannot possibly accidentally change the middle of other words that might have O-N-A in them or some other part of your word, then you can do a replace all. And now it's replaced all 8 of my Onas with Figaro. The good news is that O-N-A is not that common of a combination in a word, in the middle of a word. But I have to tell you, I have done that before using the find and replace tool and not making sure to set it up so that it only matches specific letter combinations, and really, really regretted it. I can't even tell you how much I regretted that. So try to avoid that if you can. Because you definitely don't want to have to fix. Mistakes made from trying to fix other mistakes. Trust me, that is a pain. Like if you wanted to find the word den and change the word den to cave. Let's say, oh, I didn't really mean den, I meant cave. Well, if you didn't set up certain parameters, let's say I put the word cave in here. And I just wanted to get rid of the word cave and replace it with den. So if I typed in cave here, and I didn't click these, and I wanted to change everywhere where it said, oops, den to cave, what do you think is going to happen? Made 7 replacements. I didn't have the word den in there 7 times, did I? No, I had the word hidden and forbidden and other words like that, right? No, now it says hid cave. No, I don't want it to say that, so I need to close this. I need to go undo. I don't need the word cave in there. I just want to change the word den all by itself to cave without changing everything else. Okay, so I'm going to go to the arrow and then replace, and I want to take the word den by itself and replace it with cave. We want to match case and find whole words only. Now, we'll just try this and see what happens. If I push replace all, it only made 1 replacement because we made sure that it was only lowercase, matching that case, and it was only the whole word, not parts of other words. Okay? And that is how we make sure that we don't mess it up. So you have to pay a lot of attention when you're using the find and replace tool. But the good news is that you can replace a whole bunch of stuff at once and fix a whole lot of things at once using the find and replace tool. It doesn't have to be a huge headache. There are certain things like the hard returns at the ends of sentences if you're someone who has accidentally used those. So say you're typing and you get to the end of the line, you push enter, and then you're typing and you get to the end of the line and you push enter like that. Those, you don't want those in there. That's bad formatting. So you want to take those out. Okay, you don't want those. You have to remove those by hand because if you remove all of them, that means that you'll also remove all of your paragraphs. And then your whole document will be one big paragraph. Don't want that. So you have to remove those one by one. And yeah, the find and replace tool is fantastic for so many things. The really cool thing is down here in this more button, you can also replace fonts, paragraphs, tabs, language, frame, style, highlight, and then all these special characters. And these are the ones you'll probably use the most, is different things in here. Like if you've gone through and you've done the double hyphen for your M dash and it didn't automatically update to an M dash, you can actually go through it this way so that anywhere this is at, the hyphen, right? Anytime you have that in between, so if I were to put it right here, let's put it right here, a hyphen there, a hyphen there, like you wanted to separate a word out, right? This one changed for me, but this one didn't. So anywhere I have this and I want it to be replaced with an M dash, I would, if I didn't know what the character code was, okay, if I had no idea how to set this up to replace the double hyphen with an M dash, I would come down here to special, click M dash, it puts the code in there for me, and then I just go replace all. And look, it fixes it right away for you. Okay, so that is a really, really, really handy dandy tool. And I definitely suggest you check it out. Play around with it and see what you can do. See what kind of mistakes you make. And if you find that you have made a big boo-boo, hopefully you can go back and undo it. Otherwise, sometimes it's a big headache to try to fix those. But overall, the find and replace tool is incredibly handy for a writer for so many reasons. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Leave a question or a comment, and I will get back to you. Thank you.